Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Poland Select Board meeting. It is Tuesday, February 17th. We'll start the meeting with the call to order and pledge, recognition of visitors and items not on the agenda. We'll dive into reports, manager reports, financial reports, and the department reports. And we'll review a new business, which is the budget summary, as well as payables. At this time, let's please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And before we dive into the reports, we have an appointment. So David, if you'd like to come up and say a few words, but I understand that you're running for Budget Committee.
Correct.
Or, I'm sorry, looking to join the
presently I am on the planning board as an alternate. I've lived in town for 12 years and retired last year. I've got time on my hands and no sense complaining, might as well get involved.
Yeah, I
So
think
here I
that's
am.
great. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, my background is 30 years in technology. Last 10 years I've been selling real estate. I still do that part-time. And that's my wife, and I have a lab, as I just mentioned, and 4 boys all grown.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Can someone make a motion to accept David's appointment?
I make a motion that we accept David onto the budget committee.
I second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jim Walker.
Yes.
Mary Ann Hawks.
Yes.
Lisa Elby.
Yes.
Jackson Lerner.
Yes.
By a vote of 4-0, you have appointed David Ford to the Budget Committee with a term to end 6/30/28. And David, you'll just need to stop in after the girls call you to sign your oath of office.
Okay,
Okay?
very good.
And I'm
Thank you,
gonna
David.
Yeah.
welcome
Yeah.
you to the committee
Talking
with
to
some
you
light
earlier
reading.
today,
Yeah, they talked me into this one.
Yeah, and so we'll see you
March
in a couple of
March
weeks,
5th,
March
yeah,
5th.
at the fire station.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you so
much.
Take care.
If you have any questions, let us know, okay?
I'll be in.
Yeah.
See you later.
Manager report for 17 February. Main Waste Energy, we had an executive committee and a board meeting. We approved an updated FY26 budget that gets us to the end of June. We're still working on the fiscal year 27 budget. The majority voted to approve a further increase in the MSW tip fee from $70 a ton to $88 a ton. I didn't support that increase. I understand why they want to do that, but I think the way they're going about it is wrong. And when we get to the budget, I'll talk a little bit more about that, but it doesn't kick us in the shin on our budget. Just a quick recap, a few years ago, we had a sizable corpus of funds in our reserve fund that was depleted over several years by not taking in sufficient revenue and larger than expected maintenance activities at the plant. And it was going along until all of a sudden it wasn't going along. We tried to rectify the problem over several years by raising the tip fees for member municipalities from 46 to 54, which is our current rate. This year was going to go from 54 to 70, but others felt it should be higher to hopefully have a larger corpus of funds at the end of the year to start building up some sort of reserve. And I understand why they want to do that. It's not an outlandish idea, but if we're going to do that, my argument was you need to spread the load. We've got to look at other people that are using the facility. It can't just be the owners charging people to use this. And so the next meeting, we're going to talk about increasing fees on other users to get the EcoMain price list to make sure that we are at least charging as much as they are because they're the closest competitor. We're also going to look at the legality of charging people that are under contract a one-time fee because we've had some maintenance issues, so you can help with that. I don't know if
And that
that's,
just applies to the member.
no, wouldn't apply to
Oh.
us, we apply to non-members.
Oh,
That's where we're going, it's, we
I see.
want these other people to pay.
mhm.
But on the positive side, the level of scrutiny that the facility is receiving now is a good thing. Particularly the folks from Auburn who pay the largest part of the bill, and they have the most resources to look at some of these issues. Their finance department is quite large. And their city manager, Phil Crowell, I've known him for years, good guy. And he's a big help. But I think we'll be okay here. But,
Is there a member fee right now?
pardon me?
Is there a member fee right now?
If you want to be a member, there's a process, but there's no fee. No, I take that back. I don't know what it would cost to become a member now. There's a process you go through. But Poland, for example, when we first started the facility, we took out a $2.5 million bond to help build it. So we're into that for $2.5 million. It's a sunk cost. So when we talk about, well, why don't we just pull out, we've got $2.5 million reasons why not to. And so, I think we've got enough people looking at this thing now, and we'll just have to keep you updated as we move forward. But I think we'll be all right.
The increase that they're proposing here would apply to members, including
Members,
Poland.
the
How
88
does that price compare to what non-members are paying right now?
They're paying a little bit more. And they should, because they didn't take out a $2.5 million bond.
Right.
There's gonna be some benefit. And we've received a good benefit over the years. Up till recently, our rates were in the mid-40s per ton. So for years, we were getting an awesome benefit.
Right.
But now the cash revenue and the cash flow situation there dictates that we've gotta take a different course of action. And,
Have we seen a decline in contractors since pricing going up?
say that again, please?
Have we seen a decline in contractors coming in, with the price going up?
No, because we haven't raised the price yet. They're at 120, we wanna raise it to 125. At least I wanna raise it to 125. And, we'll see. And then there's some other things that I wanna look at to make sure that we are on parity with our closest competitor. Why are we gonna charge less?
Right.
Because if you're in this area of Maine and you're going down to South Portland to Eco Maine, just the transportation cost is gonna kill you.
Right.
So if we're offering the same thing, there shouldn't be any incentive to leave.
Right.
So,
There's
more to
only-
follow. Go ahead, Jim.
There's only 3 of them places left. See, they closed the one in Merrick. You've
Yeah.
got one in Bangor, Herman, and then there's another incinerator in Portland,
Yeah,
between
that-
Portland and Westbrook.
yeah, I think that's Eco
I think that's
Maine.
where Eco Maine gets rid of some of their burn.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes here, but
But there's not many people signed on like, I understand, I think the town of Gloucester's in, like us, I think they did a buy-in,
they're a member.
yeah, they're a
They are
member,
a
but
member.
there's not many other towns that,
There's
from what I
12.
understand.
Total
I don't think
12.
Mechanic Falls is on.
Nope, they're not.
They pay the full price, I guess, if they
Yeah.
don't.
So,
Yeah.
more to, I'll keep you updated on this, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Thanks,
I'm following very closely, not just because of the Poland budget, but I live in New Gloucester and we send our trash there too. So it's a big deal, I think. MMA Executive Committee reviewed upcoming facilities work and IT upgrades to the MMA building, reviewed and views various internal policy changes and discussed MMA attendance at future municipal conferences. Auburn Lewiston Airport, we reviewed draft budget and CIP plans. Pardon me. And we approved a waiver of right of refusal on sale of adjacent property. Anything that abuts the airport up to a certain distance, the airport has a right of first refusal because they may need to use it for some airport-related business. And they can't have whatever's gonna go in there impede the flight path. So that's why that's in there.
So, sort of off topic, but talking about the airport reminds me about this. What is that smell as you're driving past the airport? Is there a chicken farm nearby or something?
A what?
There's an odd odor when you're driving on Lewiston Junction Road, and noticed that
I
a
have
few
not
Well, there's
times.
smelled
as
that. I
I'm
don't think
driving
there's a chicken farm there.
2 bark plants. I mean, you have Jolly Gardner and then you have one
by.
over on.
It smells
Fred
like a
Scramble.
landfill or like chicken.
It might be coming from the bark plants as
Yeah.
Jackson's mentioning now. I haven't noticed that. It's not coming from the airport, because there's no ground being
Right,
disturbed.
yeah. I figured it wasn't.
But I don't know what it could be. They've got propane facilities there, they've got creosote in a lot of utility poles, they've got the
Oh, that smell you smell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes, it's coming out of what they used to be Pioneer Plastics. That's an ester, when they make that formica. It's a
Oh,
different
okay,
smell
yeah,
now,
noticed
it's,
it the last
it's a
time.
you mean the
chemicals.
building right by the
And they
railroad
blow it
track?
off in steam.
Okay.
And that's where Mid-Maine Waste, they supply electricity to the Pionite there. And there was another company, I won't
Well,
take too much
The
time.
the waste energy folks,
Yeah.
they
Yeah, it's
sell
on the
these
grid.
renewable energy credits on the open
Yes,
market.
it does.
It doesn't go to any one specific,
Or maybe they changed that.
But that's been closed for a while.
But there was another company in there years ago. Cause
Yeah,
I
it was like
hauled in
some-
there.
Yeah,
but I don't know what
And,
that,
there's some paper.
They went bankrupt, the other company.
Couple other things that I wanna mention as part of the manager report that I didn't put in there. One, we have a group of residents, that were asking to have a solar moratorium. And, so I responded and, provided some guidance on how they could move forward. We got some draft language, Friday, and I sent that to our attorney today, to ask him, well, you know, what do you think, is this close? Understanding that the time is limited to, if they wanna get it on the warrant, it's like, they've gotta move pretty doggone quick. He said that there are some things that they still need to demonstrate, as you have to show, if you're gonna have a moratorium, what in the current section of the land use code or any other ordinance is not doing what you want it to do. And that there might be a little work there. I need to clarify that with our attorney. And so that would take hopefully a very short time if they wanted to do that. The other thing he told me was, well, once they do this, they get all the signatures, at some point, they've got to ask the planning board, hey, do you want to support this moratorium? And that was new to me, I didn't realize that that was a requirement, which I'm gonna have to clarify that, because I just don't, I'm not sure that that's an absolute requirement. I just don't know if it is, that just makes it a little more challenging to get a moratorium in place if that's what they want to do. The other thing the attorney said, well, look, you know, it's not your job, meaning me, to tell these folks how to craft their petition. And I am sympathetic that, hey, they want to do something, you know, we don't want to tell people, no, we're not helping you. But I said, look, that's not your role in that. He offered another avenue that if the board wanted to support the moratorium, that he said, well, I will work with whatever they have here and see if we can draft some language that would go in a warrant article. And it could get on the warrant that way. However, after thinking about it quite a bit today, and Nikki and I had a couple of long chats about it, I don't recommend that you do that. And the reason I don't is the land use code for solar power was voted in at town meeting by voters.
Yeah.
They voted for that. We have a small and well-meaning group of people that want to alter that now, but we don't know, is that a widespread feeling? And to put a moratorium in place at this point in time, I think would be subverting the will of voters expressed at town meeting and that's contained in the land use code. So.
Well, on the flip side, if we don't support it and it's something that's being driven by the community, then we also subvert voter intent by not allowing the community to vote on it.
Well,
That's another way to look at it.
that's a yes and no, because we know that voters approved the land use code. We don't know how widespread the support is for this. That's the purpose of sending out a petition, to say, well, you know, you think it's a great idea, and perhaps it is, but is there anybody else that feels the same way? But if the board wants to do that, we can figure out how to work that through with the the solar moratorium.
And are we waiting for their proposed language for that,
Well,
or?
the
what's
language we got,
process?
it came in Friday. It doesn't, there's a bunch of well thought out dot points, and I didn't see, I'd have to read it again, explicit, hey, this is what we want. So maybe that might have to be pencil whipped to meet the requirement to get on the warrant.
So, and, by coming to this board to get approval for that, would that bypass the petition
It
process?
would.
So with the short timeline that we have,
Yeah,
it might,
and that's the
option.
long pole in the tent, it's such a short
Yeah.
timeline that,
Right.
that if these folks are gonna go forward, the language that they need to craft, they have to go, well, what do we really want here? Because there are some disparities with, what they were asking, our attorney pointed out that, well, the land use code says this, and do they really understand that that's already contained in there concerning the actual size of the solar panels? Maybe they understand that. I'm not completely sure, but it's gonna be challenging for them.
Are they trying to construct it so it's in so much of an acreage? Is that the problem? Or is it
I don't know, the current land use code says it's a 4 acre of solar panels within a bit larger area. So you have a larger area, but the solar panels can only be so many acres. And I think, if you wanna go forward with that, we can, I can reach out and say, you gotta be on point, what do you wanna do? And if I know that, then I can get our attorney to do his attorney thing, and we can come up with a warrant article. But,
so are
it's,
they just trying to get it smaller? Is that the idea? Just to try to downsize it or get away from it, or?
I'm not entirely sure. That I don't know if it's they want no solar, no commercial solar,
yeah.
or if it's just single-family homes that they want to allow. I'm not, I've read it twice, and so,
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with it as of course they are. And just because I'm a little
And the
hesitant,
crux of the issue is it that, it's like a commercial solar project that's going to be done on residential zone land? Is that like the
It-
issue?
as I understand it, the owner is leasing the land to a commercial company to have 4 acres of solar panels that are currently permitted by our land use code
Right.
on his property. So they're not doing an end around, they're following the rules.
That's exactly right.
We want to change the rules on it, okay. But,
And that can be used for residential or commercial use. So they're trying to get away from the commercial side of it.
yeah, this one here is a commercial one. Why? Because it's not powering a home directly. A residential one, you might see, maybe they have a couple panels in the backyard or something on the roof.
Right.
That would, in my view, would be a residential one, but, it's all in the definition of what is a residential thing. So,
But they are going by what the land use code,
yeah, they have to,
they're following the rules.
you know.
And, yeah,
So the only way to get around that is to rewrite the code.
Yeah, so if they did a moratorium, they could say, hey, so the purpose of the moratorium, say, hey, hold on a second, we don't want you to do this. We wanna have time to amend our land use code to address this specific item that we have not previously considered in the rules in our land use code.
and there's
And,
already been 3 other projects approved though.
Yeah, there's been,
So
it might be 4.
grandfathered in at that point.
No, but what I'm saying is there are 3 other projects that are also complying with the land use codes that have been approved. And then this is the 4th one that is going for approval, but this is the one they wanna stop.
Well, I think they want to stop the whole thing. I don't think it's just the one.
Well, I think you're right, but I don't wanna put words in their mouth.
No.
Because the only communication I've had is I've read some emails from them, and they seem, well-meaning, they're not bad folks who are trying, hey, we don't like this idea, we don't want these big farms. And they list a number of reasons why that those things would not be a good thing for the town. So if the board wants me to move forward with that, we need to take a vote, you have to tell me, Matt, work with our attorney, then I'll reach out to the scoop and see if we wanna go ahead and do that.
Can we have them come in our next meeting? Just talk to them and see what they're planning and where they're trying to go with it?
We
That way
could,
everybody's on the same page.
that would be what, the 2nd of March?
Would
That,
that allow enough time? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
what
know,
is the
like,
time
time's
frame?
ticking,
Well-
and that's a couple weeks away.
we,
So the way I, sort of my personal opinion, a moratorium is a very temporary stopgap measure to figure out the problem, to try to appease as many people as possible. Whereas this project is a semi-permanent issue.
I mean,
That-
yeah,
you know,
I think it just comes down
so-
to the people and what they want. I mean, if they get enough people on the petition, that enough people wanna change the code,
well, there won't be a petition if the board decides to move forward unilaterally.
This would enable them to get it on the warrant, so it's on the referendum without having to petition, because that would take quite a bit of time and it would be too late at that point.
yeah, how many
Project would probably
signatures would
move
they need?
There's no signatures involved, but 125 if they did the
If they went
petition.
with the petition?
Yeah, so you might be able to get that at the transfer station on a Saturday, but before you get to that point, you've gotta have the correct language. You've gotta have 5 people take out the petition, and then you've gotta solicit for signatures. I think if you wanted to do it, then I'd need to start now. Because I don't know how long it's gonna take to get the language correct. And what,
I mean, I'm in support of the moratorium moving forward, but someone would need to make a motion to
Well-
enable you to work with our attorney to finalize language for that.
what we could do is, maybe we don't take a vote tonight, is that I will contact our attorney, ask him, hey, let's draft up some language, I'll reach out to these folks, say, this is what we're looking to do, is this what your intent was, to make sure that we're not missing that bit of it, and then invite them to the next meeting, we can have the language, and then have a little bit more robust discussion, okay, what are we doing, why are we doing it? Do we feel comfortable not having some understanding of what support this change would have in town? And just have a little more open discussion, but I can
Yeah.
get that going.
I know the last time we changed, wasn't too long ago, the land use code for the solar panels. We had the other side of the coin in here too, where people were saying, I have all this property and I wanna lease a portion of it to this company to help me pay my,
Taxes.
my taxes and stuff like that. I should be able to do that if I have the land available. And so they did put in some rules about having bigger buffers and stuff like that, that kind of
Yep.
made everybody happy. So I mean, we're hearing from both sides of the table, we heard from them on the last time it was changed.
Yeah,
We're hearing from the other side now, so
okay.
I think it's a pretty split.
This is
So-
getting,
So it might be helpful to have both parties
Yeah, I
here
agree.
to speak,
Well-
so that we understand the
Mhm.
issue and
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who came forward, that was
Yeah.
years ago now.
this has been getting pushed pretty hard though, because I've seen people on Facebook, Mechanic Falls, even here, they came to my house last summer.
Yeah.
And they're pushing people in to buy solar, either for their own home or to go out on the grid.
Well, I think we can see what happens at the
Yeah.
next meeting. I don't know about I don't know who the other side of this argument is.
Well, I know there were a lot of people,
We'll see, so if the board's okay with that, I'll get moving on.
they were pushing on Facebook, Matt, because a lot of these guys don't have no ID. They come to your door with a fluorescent vest on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they ask them for an ID. And some of these people are scared, they don't know these people.
Yeah,
And,
but that was
you
for
know, they're fighting
residential,
from
they're
it.
not talking about anything
Right.
residential, I don't believe.
Yeah,
Right.
So I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I don't support the moratorium because I think we just did this. And I appreciate the time and effort that Matt puts into this, but I think the voters did voice loud and clear what their decision was. So I feel badly for the folks that are, obviously feeling upset and have some concerns, but the majority of the townsfolk.
But you are right, Matt, a lot of people looking for commercial, get money out, so it does help pay their property taxes.
Well, I understand
We had a
Lisa's viewpoint,
salesperson
uh,
visit our home and they were talking about community solar projects. And pushing hard, like they wouldn't take no for an answer and they came
Yeah.
back several times.
Well, I know there's a big one, I ain't
So-
gonna name any names, but there's a big one on Johnson Hill, 26 acres up there. The guy leased out, and that's a big one.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have this group come in, have them talk,
Yeah.
hear it out, and then, we
All
can,
right, so hopefully I'll get some language crafted by the next meeting, get these solar moratorium folks to come in. And, but the purpose is to have a discussion.
Correct.
It's not a done deal, we haven't taken a vote yet.
Correct.
And, you know, there's pretty good arguments on both sides of that. So, I'll move forward from there. The other thing,
That sounds fair.
if there's no more on the solar thing, I wanted to touch base on a recent accident we had on Plains Road. There was a death. The chief deputy and I have spoken several times about that. You know, what could be done, what could we do? And there's, unfortunately, the cause of the accident was someone made a poor decision.
Yeah.
They passed over a double line. They shouldn't have done that. We talked about, gee, what other measures could be taken to improve traffic safety in town, or speed enforcement, or whatever it might be that would reduce the risk to motorists. And he said, you know, the deputies are out there, they are doing speed enforcement. He said what he did this past weekend, we're gonna do a surge of speed enforcement. They issued 50 citations over the course of the weekend, and that surge is gonna keep going for a little bit longer. And just, we're not gonna say when they're gonna stop really focusing on that, but they will never stop doing speed enforcement. That's something they're very, very serious about. They also have a program in the county where they look at high accident, pardon me, high accident areas, not just in Poland, but throughout the county. And then they will focus some speed enforcement on those specific areas. And I think for the folks in Poland, you know, we've got one deputy in town 24 hours a day. And, you know, I talk to these guys frequently, not the guys that are working at night, but, you know, the guys that are here during the day, we talk about, hey, you know, how's it going, what are you working on, and they give me a thumbnail sketch of here's what I'm up to today. Speed enforcement is a big one. Just getting around and being seen, going down to check on camps, particularly in the winter, that's another one. And then the other myriad law enforcement activities they do. But just because people don't see them out, camped out on the side of the road, does not mean that they're not out doing good law enforcement activities. I think we have a good group of deputies here. We've always had good deputies, in my view.
Yeah, but they can't be everywhere at once.
Well, that's a good point, Jim.
And I know I come down a lot of times, he'll be talking to Mechanic Falls up here to Daddy-O's. And I've come out Plains Road at night, I've been in there, you know, we go eat, and they come out through and they're flying down through there.
Yeah,
I don't know what you can do.
well,
I know in New Hampshire, when you go to New Hampshire on a double line road, they got these triangular signs that says no passing. And I don't know if we could put them up or not.
yeah, we talked about signage, and that has a very limited.
But they, you know, they had a problem up on McGuire Hill. And they patrol that, and the neighbors up there say they're still, when they're not around, they're still flying.
Yeah.
And Nikki
So when I
Nikki
talked
knows
to
over
the
where
chief deputy about,
you live, they drive fast on that?
yeah, when I
Not
talked to the
even,
chief deputy about people that are speeding,
Yeah.
he said, look, there's basically just a couple of groups. One,
Yeah.
if you're driving along, you're a few over and you look at your speedometer and you slow down, that's one type of driver. The other driver is, you know, I think I'll just pedal to the metal, I'm just gonna go as fast as I want to.
Yeah.
It's all about personal responsibility. That's what unfortunately caused the accident. But I did wanna touch on that, to let people know that, hey, you know, the sheriff's office takes this very seriously. And, you know, they're doing what they can do, but like Jim said, they can't be everywhere all the time. There's one deputy, and I hope that gives people a better feeling of what they're doing and all that.
Well, if you hit them with a big fine, they still got
Any
right to
questions,
law.
that's the manager report.
I don't know what the remedy is.
No, thank you, Matt.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
That's John just letting us know that they found Scrappy.
Oh,
Well,
scrappy.
all right.
Decided to be scrappy tonight.
The financial report, we're 65.38% for the year. Things are going fine. You know, I focused on the revenue side on motor vehicle excise, and that's pretty much on glide slope there. No issues on the revenue side. If you look at the expense summary, we're doing okay there. Many areas are well below the 65% burn rate for where we are. Couple that are, pardon me, higher on law enforcement, and that's basically due to timing of payments. We've got RSU 16 again, just a little bit above, but that's timing of payments, and the county tax because we paid the whole bill earlier. But other than that, we're doing fine, and pending any questions, that's a financial report.
Thank you. Anything noteworthy on the department reports,
Do
or
we
are
need to have
you
a
ready
vote to
to?
accept the financial report?
Oh, that's right. Okay, anyone wanna make a motion to accept the financial reports?
I move we accept the financial reports as read.
Second that.
James Walker,
Yes,
Marianne Hawks.
Yes.
Lisa Helby,
Yes.
Jackson Lerner.
Yes.
By vote 4-0, you have approved the financial reports as presented.
Are we ready to, discuss the budget summary?
Yes, we are.
I get to find my packet. Okay.
Okay, so this budget summary for the folks at home is, it's either the second page of the budget that is available on our website. It's on Facebook, so if you want to look at it, you certainly can. But I thought I'd just give a brief overview on what are the major muscle movements in our draft budget. And as you go down, you can see a couple of places are going down: general government, community services, public works. They go up by 7%. Why are they going up by 7%? You might recall we added an additional position there. That's what comprises the vast majority of that 7%. Solid waste goes up just 7.2%. Again, that is due to the increase in tip fees, and the increased tip fee of $88 is incorporated in this budget. The public safety area, that is a fairly large rise of 15.36%. What's going on there? Fire rescue, we decided to add 2 12-hour full-time shifts. And that would be additive to the current 4 people that are on during the day. The reason we did that is that will go a long way to reducing the amount of overtime that people are forced to do. Our fire rescue folks have easily the most forces, I think, in the state at this point. And we want to keep these good people there. So that is a way to alleviate that concern. The other thing is ASO. They negotiated a new contract, and their price goes up by about $120K. That's a big bill, but I can't remember the last time they had a contract negotiation. It might have been 3 or 4 years ago. But that's why that went up. It's not anything we're doing. It's the contract that the police union negotiated with the county. And that is also, of course, incorporated in our budget.
And there's nothing we can do about that going up.
No,
No negotiation.
no. So we looked at that. We cannot say we want to drop down to 1 deputy. say 12-hour shift or something like that. Because a few years ago, it was a warrant article to go to a 24-hour, police coverage. If we wanted to change that, we could put a warrant article to reduce it, but we'd still have to budget for it, because we have to make sure that we can cover that. My recommendation would be, don't change it. Before we did the 24-hour police protection, I had a couple of long talks with the sheriff and the chief deputy, and they said, look, crime in this area, it's not non-existent, but if you don't have a deputy on duty in your town, it's gonna take us. Potentially, the county patrol is up in Turner. It's gonna take a long time to get down there. And it's not just law enforcement deputies involved, but they help out with fire rescue calls as well. And that's a big deal, particularly at night when we have two people on. So that's what's going on there. The capital improvement plan went down quite a bit. We went down 110K in the paving, and then in our contingency fund, we reduced that by about $45,000 in our annual contribution there. We dropped so much in paving because when we looked at what the next logical road to pave was, it was about $250,000 to do that. And it would have put us way above the current year of paving bill of $758,000. We thought, no, we're not gonna do that, that's way too much. So we decided this will be okay for this year. It might mean that we're gonna look at a bit of an increase next year, we'll have to see how that all plays out.
Which road is that?
I think we were looking at Bailey Hill, and that's a two-section road. One is 250, the other's some other amount similar to 250. So it's an expensive,
Really bad.
yeah, it's an expensive thing to do, and but we're very mindful that we don't want to put too much pressure on taxpayers unless it's absolutely necessary. And all that shakes out for an expense increase of 2.56%. But here's a quiz, Lisa. What's the most important number?
Oh, the net.
That's right.
The net something, the net.
The net to be raised.
Thank you, to be raised, yes.
That's right. And I didn't mean to put you on the spot,
No,
but
no,
that
I
is,
have my notes.
that is the most important number.
Yeah,
That goes up by 4.17%.
okay.
Well, why is that going up? Our revenues go down slightly, but the real issue there is they're not going up as much as we would like. Why? The big deal is investment returns. We've got as much of our cash in a CD that we feel is safe and prudent. So we'll see how this shakes out. There's still an opportunity to get a slight increase in Maine state revenue sharing. Those numbers come out about the time we hold our budget workshop. So we'll get those in. Hopefully we'll be able to consider them when we're at the workshop and we have everybody there. But the takeaways that I want to let the board know and folks out in town is that we are very sensitive to the amount of tax that people pay. We take very seriously every dollar that is collected, because it first had to be earned by a taxpayer before it ends up in the town bank account. I'd also offer that anyone on the select board, the budget committee, or anybody out in town, if you have a question about the budget, you can contact myself or Nikki. You can email me, you can call me, you can just show up and we will answer your question. And I will also offer that if you want to sit down and walk through the entire budget, I will do that with you. Anybody. It's your tax dollars, you deserve to know, and I'm very comfortable doing that. So if folks want to come in and talk about that, very happy to do it. And pending any questions, that's the budget summary.
Just, could I ask, I noticed on the CIPs that Public Works puts the date of the last purchase or replacement of their equipment on there. Could we ask Fire Rescue to do the same thing?
Say that,
So on Public Works, on their CIP, they have like 2014 pickup truck with plow. Could we ask the fire rescue to do the same thing, so that we know when the engines and the tanks and
We have
things?
that on there somewhere.
Yeah, in
Not
the
on-
extended version, it's towards the back
Oh, I
of the
know what was
packet.
missing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
I got
missed it.
looking at that brand new truck.
At the very end of the.
The Western
packet.
Star's not on there. That brand new truck that Adam just got,
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
That's not
Jim.
even
Thanks
on
for
the-
pointing that out.
listed.
I don't,
And the only other piece of
I can
equipment,
look
I
at it
don't
after
know.
the meeting.
Yeah, we'll
'cause
chat after.
we have-
Well, they're
I might have
listed
missed
as
it.
that John Deere
Yeah.
grader.
okay.
Those
That
are
was
the
my
two
only-
pieces of equipment that aren't listed.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
Pending any questions, that's the budget summary.
Any questions before we move?
Nope.
I'm good. Payables. Just need someone to make a motion to pay our bills.
Would you like to do that in John's absence?
As soon as I find it,
Oh, right here.
I got it.
Got it.
I move that we pay our bills. Do I have to say a date or
Just in the amount of the
Okay.
bottom line.
the amount of $1,216,874.15.
Second,
Jim Walker,
yes.
Marion Hawk,
Yes.
Lisa Alvey.
Yes.
Jackson Larry.
Yes.
With a vote of 4-0, you have approved to pay the bills in the amount of $1,216,874.15.
Any new business? Or anything you'd like to bring up?
Oh, I had a couple of things I was gonna add in my mind. I think we ought to put it out there again. I've been hearing a lot of talk around town that we ought to let the voters decide. A lot of people would like to see town meeting back again. I don't know if we can get it through, but they've been, I've heard a lot of voices out there that they'd like to see this again.
I've heard it from a few people as well.
And plus they miss the town report too.
Town meeting's tough. When you have to wait for 100 people to show up to even start it and you don't get 100 people. It's tough in person. It really is.
Probably you'd have to reduce the amount, cause it was set at 100. I know the original plan was 75, but then they went to 100. There's not many towns that are still doing it, there's a few out there. I don't know. Does New Gloucester still do it, Matt?
Yeah, they have a town meeting.
Yeah. I just feel that, people need to voice what's going on here.
But they have 2 public hearings that they're able to come in and voice their concerns and ask questions if they have it, and they can come to us at any time. So I mean.
But it's hard for people during the week, 'cause a lot of them work at night and stuff, that's what and a lot
Well,
of
folks
them,
wanna
that's what
revisit
happened
that,
on
there's a
this
process
Saturday
in
too.
the charter that tells them how they can do it.
Yeah.
And it's not an immediate change, but, there's a way to do that if enough folks feel strongly.
I look back in the old town reports, I'll tell you, they had town meeting way back in. Well, I think the first town meeting here, I think was 1700 something.
Anything else? That's a good thought. Anything else to add?
No, I'm good,
Okay.
I'm good.
Quick question.
Mhm.
So I saw that it was announced on Facebook, there was a public announcement about the budget meeting. I do think I recall from last time that we did have a couple visitors, and I just wanted to ask and make sure, like, is that open to the public if they
It
wanted
is.
to come and sit and listen to that process?
It is open to the public, however, because they're workshops, the
Mhm.
public isn't supposed to be asking questions and stuff. The public hearings are the time to do that. A workshop is for the officials and those putting out the information to kind of go through it together, to talk about it and discuss and debate about it. It's not really the time for the public to get involved, because no decisions have been made as to what
Right.
those numbers are gonna be, so it's kind of hard.
But as you might recall, we had 1 or 2 people there before, and yeah, are you supposed to not be answering questions of that venue? Yeah, you're not supposed to, but if it's one or two, it's hard not to, you know,
Right,
someone's
it's a quick
taken the
question.
time to come out and they're interested enough. You know, we answer questions here, we don't hide stuff, so, you know, if there's a way to answer that question, we will. But if it turns into some long involved thing, a better way to address their concern is if they come in and then talk to myself and Nikki, and we can walk them through whatever that concern is and,
Absolutely.
and answer that for them.
Yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
you're right, Matt, cause it was always the public could come and sit, but listen,
Right,
cause it, you know, it is, Nikki's right, it is a workshop, and you haven't got time when you're going through the whole budget process to answer a whole lot of questions.
But it's only
Yeah.
a couple of questions, I don't think that's
Yeah, oh, yeah.
debilitating. You know, I
That's
think
right.
we have to be reasonable. You know, folks are taking the time out of their life to show up at a budget workshop and they have one or two questions, you know, perhaps we can help them.
For sure.
thank you. Lisa?
No, I don't have anything.
Nope, I'm good.
Great, would anyone, no, nothing to add?
No.
Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn at 7:46.
Second,
Jim Walker.
yes.
Marion Hawks. Lisa Albee.
Yes.
Jackson Learn.
Yes.
By a vote 4-0, you have approved to adjourn the meeting. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.